Hey, how's it going? This is going to be the second video on the Women's Oppression Debate playlist. We're going to talk about some differences in education results amongst men and women and see if women are experiencing some form of oppression or some form of privilege. This video is going to have some resemblance of chronological order. We're going to start with high school results, transitioning to college, and then college results. So first what we're looking at is disciplinary action rates in high school comparing men and women. Now this is the GAO analysis of the Department of Education. It measures out-of-school suspension, in-school suspension, referral to law enforcement, expulsion, corporal punishment, and school-related arrests. I provided a direct quote from them and then paraphrase the graph below. Men make up only 50% of the school population, however, 2/3 or more of each disciplinary action, which means that men are overrepresented in school disciplinary actions and overrepresented in school punishments. So what the graph is saying is that although men make up 50% of the school population, they're 68.3% of people who receive out-of-school suspension and so on. Some of these gaps are by 27 percentage points, which is a huge gap in the amount of people that are punished based on the sexes. What we're currently looking at is the dropout rates between men and women within particular ethnicities and races. Men are being represented by the darker green, while women are being represented by the lighter gray/green. And what it is it takes the percentage of men within a particular ethnicity that drop out, compare it to a particular percentage of women in a certain ethnicity or race that also drop out. And it appears as if every single ethnicity/race, men more likely and more often drop out of high school. In fact, some of this by pretty considerable percentage points, like Hispanics, for example, where men are 3.3% more of people who drop out of high school per their sex. And when it comes to just men and women in total, comparing all demographics of people, 2.2% more men drop out of high school than women do compared to the sexes, meaning that men drop out at higher rates of high school no matter the ethnicity or race. So now we're going to transition all the way to college enrollment rates. The majority at 57% of students in 2017 in public universities were female. This is coming from the National Center of Education Statistics. Women are disproportionately enrolled in college compared to men, creating a 14-point gap between men and women enrollment in public universities. Now, you're going to see a couple of the rates on this. I saw one from Forbes that said 60-40. I saw one that said 58. However, this is probably the most reliable source, coming in at 57%. Still, though, women are disproportionately getting accepted and enrolled into college compared to men at a very low rate of 43%. Now, this actually isn't a new trend. The amount of undergraduate men in universities has been less than the amount of undergraduate women in universities since 1978, as expressed on the graph on the left. Now, quote, women's enrollment has increased faster than men's, which fluctuated in the 1980s and 1990s. Men undergraduate enrollment is projected to increase in 2000s, but women's enrollment is projected to grow at a faster rate, which indicates that there's, for a long time now, been a disparity in the amount of women that are accepted into college compared to men. Some of these gaps are huge, and it continues to be a trend even in 2000. In the last graph that I showed, everything after 1998 was a projection. This is the actual graph, however, showing what the actual results were from 2000 to 2018, showing that females still have a considerably large lead over their male counterparts when it comes to enrollment rates. Over 2.2 million more women in college universities than men, with no projected rate of change. This is a graph showing the immediate college enrollment rate of high school completers by sex, female and male. Females percentage-wise a little bit more likely to enroll into college after high school compared to their male counterparts. Not too crazy. No objective claims that can be really made off of this because it's a pretty consistent line, both being very, very close. The more important information, though, and the most pertinent thing that we can get from this, though, is that men and women both want to go into college at a pretty equal rate after completing high school. However, a acceptance gap still exists, favoring women disproportionately when it comes to the enrollment rate. This figure shows the college completion rate between men and women in different racial and ethnic backgrounds. What it shows is women of any ethnic or racial group have a 6 to 10% higher completion rate than their male counterparts. It also shows that men disproportionately drop out of college more than women do, which I have a secondary source that shows that men are 20% more likely to drop out of college. Now, putting all this information together, this means that men are less likely to get enrolled into college, but the men that do get enrolled into college are less likely to complete college and more likely to drop out than their female counterparts. This is just some additional information I'd like to throw in there. When it comes to the college-educated workforce, women now make up the slight majority at 50.2% of the college-educated workforce. Congratulations, fantastic. Now, when it comes to bachelor degrees, it's a little bit of a different story. Women make up about 57% of all people awarded bachelor degrees in U.S. institutions, and this started in the 1980s. Probably one of the most noticeable disparities is the gap in degrees that both men and women actually obtain. Women, since 1982, have earned 13 million more college degrees than men, including 5.8 million more bachelor degrees. Let's do a quick review so we can make a conclusion. Men disproportionately get punished in high school. Men are more likely to drop out of high school. Women disproportionately get accepted and enrolled into college. This has been going on since 1978. There are currently 2.2 million more women in college than there is men currently, and there is no projected end to this disparity. Women are more likely to complete college. Men are more likely to drop out of college. Women disproportionately get bachelor degrees, and there is currently a 13 million degree gap between men and women, favoring women. Now, all the links in the study will be in chronological order in the description, including links that I did not put but I mentioned. One of those being, I'd like to mention at the end, women disproportionately have higher test scores in every single subject on the ACT, no matter the subject, as of recent. And I will be putting that in the description as well. Conclusion, there is some pretty large amounts of privilege that women have within the educational system. There is no step of the way in which I could possibly see there be some form of oppression or disparity not favoring women, unless we're talking about STEM fields or any other particular form of college bias. However, I'll be making a totally separate video for that when it comes to bias favoring women. When it comes to STEM fields, I will also mention that in there. But for now, thank you for watching. Have a good one.